Ollie was a shy 10-year-old boy who had recently moved into a new house with his family. The house was old, its wooden floors creaked, and the windows whistled when the wind blew. But what bothered Ollie the most was his room's closet. Every night, he felt someone was staring from inside. One evening, he placed his school bag against the closet door, hoping it would stop that eerie feeling. But when he woke up the next morning, the bag was gone. It was sitting right next to his bed, unzipped. And inside, his books were rearranged neatly, as if someone was playing school. Ollie tried to ignore it, until the night he heard a whisper. "Can I play with you?" His heart froze. He pulled the blanket over his head and shut his eyes tight. But the voice spoke again. "I don't want to be alone anymore." Ollie peeked out. The closet door was slowly opening, even though the room was silent. A small, dark figure stepped out, child-sized, but just a shadow. It sat on the floor and picked up Ollie's lost toy car. "Will you be my friend?" The voice trembled, almost sad. Ollie didn't scream. He didn't run. He whispered back, shaking. Who are you?" The shadow tilted its head. "Someone who never got to grow up." Then it smiled. But its smile stretched wider than a human smile ever should. Ollie hoped the shadow boy was just a nightmare. But the next morning, as he grabbed his backpack for school, a tiny voice whispered from inside. "I'm coming with you." Ollie froze. He slowly unzipped the bag and saw nothing. He sighed with relief. Until he felt a cold hand slip into his. He looked down. The shadow boy was walking beside him, smiling proudly. "Now we go everywhere together." At school, Ollie tried to ignore him. He sat in class quietly. But suddenly, a girl in his row screamed. "There's something crawling under your desk." Ollie looked down. The shadow boy giggled and climbed into his lap like a playful toddler. But when the teacher looked, she saw nothing. Kids around the class stared at Ollie with fear and confusion. During recess, Ollie whispered angrily. "Stop following me. You're scaring people." The shadow boy's smile faded. His voice became a frightened whisper. "Please, don't leave me. I remember what happened, when I was left alone the first time." Ollie hesitated. "What happened to you?" The shadow boy pointed toward the school's old basement storage room. "I used to laugh here. Then I cried here. Then, nobody heard me anymore." His shape flickered, growing darker, taller, like his sadness fed his power. Ollie swallowed hard. "Okay," he said softly. "I'll stay your friend. Just, don't hurt anyone." Instantly, the shadow boy brightened like he had been given the world. "Best friends," he whispered, gripping Ollie's hand too tight. Ollie forced a smile back. But deep down, he wondered. What happens to a shadow when it becomes too attached? That night, Ollie pretended to be asleep. But he could feel the shadow boy sitting next to his bed, staring. Watching his every breath. After a long silence, the shadow boy spoke softly. "Ollie, do you know what it feels like to disappear?" Ollie didn't move. He didn't answer. The shadow boy continued, voice shaking. "When they locked the door, I cried and cried. But no one came. I got cold. Then I fell asleep and never woke up." Ollie's heart hurt. He turned to face the shadow boy. His black, hollow eyes glowing with loneliness. "A long time ago," the shadow whispered. "I had a best friend too. We promised to be together forever." Ollie asked quietly. "What happened to him?" The shadow boy's expression twisted. Half sadness, half anger. "He left." A sudden chill spread through the room. The corners darkened like midnight ink. "But you will stay." Ollie sat up, shaking. "No," he whispered. "I have a life. I have a family. The shadow boy laughed softly, like a broken toy. Not anymore. Ali's blanket rose into the air by itself. Lights flickered violently. His bedroom closet door burst open, dark smoke creeping out. Ali's voice trembled. Why are you doing this? The shadow leaned close, whispering in his ear. Because if you leave me, I will be alone again. And shadows cannot survive alone. Ali realized something terrifying. The ghost didn't want a friend. He wanted a replacement. Ali jumped out of bed and ran toward the door. But just as he reached the handle, the shadow boy appeared in front of him, blocking the exit. His voice echoed unnaturally. No running. Friends do not run. Ali stepped backward slowly, trembling. I need my parents, he whispered. The shadow boy's face twisted into a wide, wrong smile. Your parents cannot see me. They never look into the dark long enough. Ali glanced at the window. Maybe he could shout for help. But the shadow followed his eyes and shook his head. If you open that window, I will go outside. And every child who looks out into the night will see me. Ali froze. What do you want from me? He asked. The shadow boy floated upward, feet not touching the ground. He reached out his hand. Just hold my hand. And I will show you my home. It is dark. But we will have forever. Ali backed up until he hit the wall. He felt trapped. There was no way out. Suddenly, a loud knock on the door. Ali? Are you awake? It was his mother's voice. Ali tried to scream, but his voice wouldn't come out. The shadow snapped his fingers. The knock stopped instantly. Silence. Ali's mother's voice faded away as if she never existed. He gasped in fear. The shadow boy whispered gently. Once a child opens the door to a shadow, the world stops hearing them. Ali fell to the floor, his tears making the room shimmer in blurry shapes. The shadow crouched down next to him. He stroked Ali's hair like a loving brother. We are one now. The room grew darker. Darker than night. Darker than death. Ali felt his hands getting colder. Like his blood was turning into ice. The shadow boy smiled. Tomorrow, nobody will remember you ever lived. Ali's mother woke up before sunrise. She had a strange feeling in her chest. A mother's instinct, something was wrong. She walked to Ali's room quietly. The hallway felt colder than usual. Even the air smelled different. Like an old basement filled with dust. She tried to turn the doorknob. Locked. Her heart dropped. Ali, she whispered. No answer. She knocked again. Harder. Ali. Open the door. Still silence. Her breath grew fast. Her fingers shook on the handle. Finally, she pushed with all her strength. The door swung open. The room was dark. Too dark for early morning. The curtains were shut tight. The air felt heavy, like the room was breathing. Ali, she called again, soft, worried. She heard a faint whisper from the corner. I am here. She rushed toward the voice. But when she reached the bed, Ali wasn't there. Panic rose. She searched the whole room, under the bed, inside the closet, behind the curtain. Empty. The walls felt colder than ice. Then she saw something. A small handprint on the wall. It was Ali's size, but dark, like it was made of shadow. Her heart pounded. She touched the print. And it disappeared instantly. A chill ran through her spine. She looked into the darkest corner of the room. The corner that no sunlight could reach. Two glowing eyes stared back. She froze in horror. A soft whisper filled the room. You were too late. Ollie's mother grabbed her chest, gasping. "Where's my son? Give him back." No response. Just those glowing eyes. Then suddenly, Ollie's little hand reached out of the darkness. "Mom." His voice sounded scared. And tired. She grabbed his hand desperately. "I'm here, my child. Come to me." But as she pulled, she felt another hand gripping him tightly from inside the darkness. A second voice hissed. "He belongs to me now." Ollie screamed. The whole house shook. Lights flickered wildly. His mother fell backward as the shadow retreated, taking Ollie deeper into the dark corner. And the wall closed shut. Like nothing was ever there. She scrambled to her feet, banging the wall. "Ollie. Ollie." But all she heard was silence. The silence of a child who slipped into a world where humans do not belong. Ollie's mother fell to the floor, shaking. Tears streamed down her face as she pressed her head against the cold wall. Her boy. Her only boy. Gone into a place that shouldn't exist. But a mother does not give up. Not while her child is calling. She stood up, wiping her tears. Her voice trembled, but her heart turned strong. "I will get you back, Ollie." She looked around the room again, carefully. Everything looked normal. Too normal. The small table was still there. His books. His favorite toy car. But something was missing. His drawings. She checked every shelf. Every paper. Nothing. Except one. It was lying under the bed, folded. She opened it slowly. Her blood ran cold. Ollie had drawn a door. A tall black door with no edges. No handle. No lock. Just emptiness. And a shadow standing on the other side. Under the drawing, in shaky handwriting. "He wants me to play with him." Her legs weakened for a moment. She felt the walls closing in. But then she heard it. A soft knock. Not from the bedroom. Not from the hallway. From inside the wall. Knock. 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 The same rhythm Ollie used when calling her for dinner. "Ollie," she whispered, pressing her hand against the wall. The knocking stopped. Then a quiet voice, Ollie's voice, muffled, but clear. "Mom, open the door." Her breath hitched. "There is no door," she whispered. A long silence. Then the shadowy voice she had heard before. Deeper, colder, echoing. "Just draw it." Her heart pounded. Her hands trembled. With a shaking voice she replied. "No, no, I won't help you take him." But the voice laughed softly. "You already did." The wall began to darken. Like ink spreading across paper. Lines formed. Shapes connected. A rectangle grew. A door. A black door. Just like Ollie had drawn. Her entire body shivered. The knob twisted itself. Click. A slow creak filled the room. The door began to open. A breath of freezing wind rushed out. The lights flickered violently. Whispers poured from the darkness. But then, a little hand reached out from the gap. "Mom. I'm scared." That voice. It was truly Ollie. Her heart screamed to run to him. But her mind whispered another fear. What if that wasn't really her son anymore? She stood torn between love and terror. The door opened wider. A shadow loomed behind Ollie. Tall, twisted, smiling in the dark. Ollie's mother took one small step forward. One that might save her child. Or doom them both. Ollie's mother stood frozen. Her heartbeat felt like thunder inside her chest. Ollie's hand was still stretched toward her. But that shadow behind him. Its shape moved like smoke. No arms. No face. Just hunger. "Mom, please," Ollie whispered. His voice cracked. He sounded tired. Like he had been crying for a long time. Her eyes filled with tears. "You promised," he said softly. "You said you would always come for me." That broke something inside her. Every memory flashed. His tiny fingers gripping hers the day he was born. His first steps. His laughter in the park. The way he'd run to her when he was scared. He was still her baby. Fear shook her, but love held her up. She whispered back. "I am here, Ollie. I will always be here." She took another step closer. The dark wind pulled at her clothes like hands trying to drag her back. The shadow behind Ollie leaned closer. It whispered. "Bring her to me." Ollie flinched. As if the voice pained him. His mother reached for him. Their fingertips touched. A shock of cold shot up her arm. Then Ollie's eyes widened in terror. "Mom. Don't come in," he said. A large black hand wrapped around his small shoulder and yanked him back. He screamed. "Mom. Let go." She grabbed harder, both hands now, refusing to release him. "I won't lose you again," she cried. The shadow hissed. A low, ancient sound. The room shook violently. Lights shattered. Air turned icy. But the mother held tighter. Her nails dug into Ollie's wrist as she pulled with everything she had. Her voice broke into a desperate scream. "You cannot take my son." The darkness tried to swallow them. Whispers filled her head. "He belongs to us. He is lonely here. He will never leave." She pushed those voices away. And she remembered something. Something small. Something ordinary. The bedtime prayer she taught Ollie every night. "Angels protect me. God beside me. Light before me." She whispered it. Then louder. Until her voice shook the room. "Light before me." A sudden burst. The hallway light flickered on. A warm glow filled the doorway. The shadow shrieked. Its grip loosened. Ollie stumbled forward. Right into his mother's arms. She pulled him close, holding him as tight as she could. Her tears fell onto his hair. Ollie sobbed into her shoulder. The black door slammed shut behind them. Then vanished completely. Silence. Cold air slowly warmed. The nightmare. Gone. But as she held Ollie, shaking, she knew this was not the end. Something in that darkness still wanted him. And it had a message. A final whisper that lingered in her mind. "We will be back." Ollie slept in her arms that night. His breathing was uneven, like he was still running in his dreams. She stroked his hair gently and whispered calming words until his trembling stopped. But her own eyes refused to close. Every small creak of the house made her jump. Every shadow on the wall made her heart pound again. She knew one thing for sure. They were not safe. Not yet. Morning arrived slowly. The sun's light felt weaker than usual. The house seemed colder, emptier. When Ollie woke up, he stared at her as if making sure she was real. "You didn't let go," he whispered. "Never," she replied, kissing his forehead. But as soon as they walked into the hallway, Ollie stopped. The wall nearly froze her blood. There, scratched into the paint, were words. "We are not finished." Ollie's mother covered his eyes quickly and pulled him away. Her hands were shaking, nerves stretched to breaking point. She had no one to call for help. No one believed her. Doctors said Ollie was imagining things. Neighbors avoided her with awkward smiles. So she made a decision. If no one would help, She would help herself. She packed a bag. Some clothes. Ollie's favorite toy. And most importantly, every memory that made Ollie feel loved. Before leaving, she took a deep breath and walked into Ollie's room. There, by the window, rested a small old book. Ollie pointed at it. "They gave me that," he whispered. The cover was black and worn, edges burned like it had survived a fire. No title. No author. She opened it. Inside were drawings of children. Each one holding hands with a dark shadow behind them. Her heart dropped. And then she saw it. A drawing of Ollie. His name was written under it in the same scratched writing from the wall. She slammed the book shut and grabbed Ollie's hand. "We're leaving. Right now." But the moment they reached the front door, a wind surged inside the house. Strong enough to knock her backward. The book flew from her hand and opened by itself. Pages flipping rapidly. The air filled with whispers. Then Ollie's voice changed. Low, empty. "They said I can't leave. They said I belong to them." She knelt down and held his face in her hands. "No, Ollie. You belong to me. You belong to this world. You belong to love." Ollie blinked. His eyes softened. He looked scared again. She stood up and shouted into the air. "You cannot have him. He is not yours." Every light in the house blasted bright. Glowing like fire. The walls shook. Glass shattered. And the shadow rose again behind Ollie. Bigger. Stronger. It reached toward him. Ollie screamed. She stepped in front of him, arms wide. "Take me instead." The shadow froze. Whispers turned to silence. Ollie grabbed her shirt, crying. "No, Mom. No. They can't take you." She hugged him tight. Her voice steady. "Brave. Love is stronger than fear," she whispered. The shadow hesitated. It turned its faceless head, as if confused. Light from the windows poured over them. The shadow hissed, pulling back. Shrinking. Crumbling into dust. Then. Silence. The house stopped shaking. The air warmed. The pages of the book went blank, turning white like fresh paper. Ollie looked up at his mother. "Mom, is it over?" She kissed his hands. "Yes, my love. It's over." She didn't know if that was true. But she would protect him. Again and again. For as long as she lived. Sparkles. End of story. Sparkles. Screams from the empty room. Child-focused paranormal series.